Well, now that spring is finally here, work can begin to fix some of the worst roads in Erie County. A priority list of roads and the bridges which need major repair may be drawn up next week with the input of Erie County lawmakers. 2 on your side's Ron Plant says our viewers brought up 2 more examples of crumbling roads which the county will address.
It's a heavily traveled corridor between West Seneca and Lackawanna, and where Ridge and Seneca roads blend into each other right near the intersection of Orchard Park Road. You'll find this bridge over the Cazenovia Creek, and you'll find this battered joint in that bridge.
It started decaying slightly, and I mean where it was a little bumpy. Now you go down into it, it's all decayed now right across the whole width of the bridge.
It appears to have been patched in spots, but our viewer questions why Erie County Highways hasn't done more to repair it.
And I found out it was the county's job. I talked to a couple of the county people, and the county people just said they'll get it fixed. And that was, like I said, going on 2 years.
Erie County Deputy Public Works Director Charlie Sickler says it will be patched again within the next 2 weeks or so, as more effective hot patch is now available from production plants. And an engineer will then assess it to see if more repairs are needed. Then there's pothole-riddled Abbott Road south of the stadium and Big Tree Road in the town of Orchard Park. Some rut several inches deep and all over the cratered road, and again, Erie County's responsibility.
They're horrible potholes, and you're constantly swerving to avoid the potholes, but worried about oncoming traffic. I think it's dangerous and just wrecks your car, and it's just getting worse.
Sickler also says Abbott Road will be patched with some strip paving to smooth out those potholes. And come next week, the county and legislature will review in a special meeting a list of roads which will be repaired or rebuilt using $9 million in county funding. An extra $2 million for road repair may be tacked on as part of a county budget surplus pending legislative approval. Ron Plants, Channel 2 News.
Thanks, Ron. And a reminder that we have put together a special map for you to see where the worst potholes in western New York are. You'll find that map on WGRZ.com/potholes. You can even add one of your own to the list. You can also tweet a location using the hashtag WNY potholes. Well, state police want drivers to know that they will be cracking down on speeders and aggressive drivers over the next few days. The Speed Week Blitz starts tomorrow and runs through next week, Thursday. Fines for speeding and aggressive driving can reach up to $1,000 and add as much as 11 points on your license. And check out this sign that now sits on a busy roadway. The Duck Crossing sign is located at the intersection of William Street and Cayuga in Cheektowaga. The Erie County Department of Work says that they are aware of it and that it was put up by a private citizen. Well, certainly the weather is just right if you're driving by there. What do you think, Kevin? That Duck Crossing sign is probably just right because the ducks are out.
No question about it, Claudine. I kind of like the phrase you used a little earlier on the mayor's programs, clean sweep, because that's exactly what we want to do with our forecast. Get all of anything that even pertains to snow off of the chart, and let's start warming things up. Well, a quick look at the radar screen. I do have a little snow to take a look at, but it's out in Minneapolis and Sioux Falls, and it's moving in a northeasterly direction. But we have 2 systems, one over the top of us right now, some high pressure, which gave us a beautifully sunny but cool day today. Well, as that high moves off to the east, now we're going to start to warm things up, and it's going to be right around the corner. Weather notes as we have them for you on this Wednesday night. It's finally going to be a beautiful, clear night. You can enjoy that full moon, a sunny, warmer day tomorrow. Maybe a few late showers on Friday, but I want to focus in on that big Easter Sunday forecast, and I'll do just that with the full 7-day forecast, Claudine, when I see you in just about 10 minutes.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Still ahead. How young is too young to have a cell phone? We'll tell you what is stirring up the debate this time. The story is coming up at 5:46. But first, the latest on the Oscar Pistorius trial, how his lawyers tried to discredit what neighbors claim they heard the night Reva Steenkamp was shot. Plus, the Ukraine crisis, how things are once again heating up in the eastern part of that country.
Well, our high today is pretty much normally confined to our normal average low, 36, but we're going to be a lot warmer than that tomorrow. Details straight ahead.
World leaders are once again issuing a call to Russia to back off in Ukraine as the crisis there heats up. Pro-Russian rebels commandeered 6 Ukrainian armored vehicles today and hoisted Russian flags on top of them. Those armored vehicles were on their way to remove insurgents loyal to Russia who have taken control of several buildings in cities along the eastern seaboard. As that was happening, the leader of NATO issued this warning to Vladimir Putin.
Today, we agreed on a package of further military measures to reinforce our collective defense and demonstrate the strength of allied solidarity. We will have more planes in the air, more ships on the water, and more readiness on the land.
NATO estimates some 40,000 Russian troops have gathered along Ukraine's eastern border. One of the biggest trials to ever take place in South Africa is on hold for the next 2 weeks. The Oscar Pistorius trial was halted after both sides requested a need for more time. That request was made after the defense tried to dispute what neighbors heard the night the Olympic blade runner shot and killed Reva Steenkamp.
Oscar Pistorius back in his seat today, head in hands, appearing sick again in court, as his forensic expert reenacted the scene.
E would come from that direction and on the inside.
Prosecutors say Reva Steenkamp was screaming in there as Pistorius was shooting her. Neighbors testify they heard it. But Pistorius says not true. The neighbors didn't hear gunfire. They heard him screaming after the fact as he hit the door with this cricket bat.
I hit it like this with the tip of the bat hitting the bottom panel.
The defense team even recorded their own sound test, hitting a similar door with a cricket bat. Listen. Then they fired a gun at the door from the same distance away. Listen to that. The defense claims they sound the same. Those neighbors don't know what they heard. On cross-examination today, the prosecutor attacked the defense expert's credibility.
I see that you're currently not affiliated to any forensic body.
That is so, my lady.
Are you a blood spatter expert?
I have received no training in blood spatter analysis, my lady.
Quick note about the schedule here. This trial was originally slated to last 3 weeks. We're now into week number 7, so both sides today requested a 2-week break starting tomorrow afternoon to work on some other cases along with some planned family vacations. No one thought it would go on this long, so no question about it now. This trial will extend deep into May. Jeff Rawson, NBC News, Pretoria, South Africa.
Still ahead, where a toddler got stuck in a claw machine and why his parents were nowhere to be found. But first, should 5-year-olds have cell phones? Why some experts are saying the answer is yes. The story is next. Well, here's a look at what's trending on Twitter today in Western New York, and a look at this should not be too much of a surprise. Even with an awful year from the Sabres, Buffalo is still a hockey town, and trending today are the following hashtags: because it's the Cup, NHL, and Stanley Cup. Those are the hot terms because the Stanley Cup playoffs begin tonight. Well, how young is too young to have a cell phone? That debate is heating up once again nationwide after Sprint began selling a new phone designed for kids as young as the age of 5. Channel 2's Heather Lee takes a look at why some experts feel it is a good idea in this day and age for even kindergartners to have their own phone.
That could be really useful. It would really be unnecessary.
Once considered a luxury to some, having a cell phone now a necessity for many. But when it comes to children, that decision isn't so easy. Sprint is giving families a new option that could put more phones in kids' hands. The company calls the WeGo an affordable first phone for kids, targeting ages 5 to 12.
Weigh all those needs. Is your child really needing to get a hold of an adult when they're alone or away from you for long periods of time?
Mary Geisler says there may be some situations where younger children could benefit from having a phone.
The families that I work with, many of them are not enjoying intact having two people in the home to look after them. So these children are often left with strangers, or they're visiting a parent on a weekend, and it may be up to a lot of different people to pick them up or drop them off. So a cell phone under those circumstances and helping the child learn to use it responsibly would be very appropriate.
The WeGo has security measures allowing parents to program which contacts their kids can make calls to and receive calls from. It has GPS tracking, can only send preset text messages like "I'm at school," and has a string to pull if kids feel they're in danger, sending parents an immediate text message.
I think this is a good idea, like the features of the limitations, but I would rather see it be targeted for children a little older.
The cell phone is just simply a tool. We are still parents. We must be parents. We're responsible. Set those boundaries. And I think you're going to have a good experience with it with your child.
Well, that WeGo phone is now available in Sprint stores. The cost of the phone itself is $199 up front, or you can make 24 monthly payments for $5. Service on the phone costs under $10 a month. And having a cell phone would not have helped this toddler in Nebraska. As you can see, he got stuck inside a claw machine at a bowling alley. Even more surprising to the people there is that they had no idea where the boy came from. He was all alone. But a worker at the alley says he didn't seem to care at all that he was stuck.
There was probably 25 people surrounding him, and he didn't notice anybody. He was just inside playing with the stuffed animals.
Well, police say the 3-year-old had wandered into the bowling alley from an apartment across the street. They say his mom had gone to the restroom, and when she came out, he was gone. Fortunately, he was not hurt. I cannot imagine. And the word that comes to my mind is ouch. But when it comes to the weather, I say, ooh.
Yeah, well, I'll go along with the ooh. My question is, how did that kid, that is not a small child.
No, it's not.
And that hole where the gifts come when you never